Elena.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good.
Good. I am having a little bit of technical difficulty, so I'm having to use my iPhone. So I'm not quite used to that, but it worked. So yay.
Yeah,
All
we can
right.
see you. Looks good.
Well,
Sounds
good.
good.
Good. I got my buds in, so that helps. All
That
right.
helps.
So this dream has been puzzling me since December of the end of December of 2020. And I've tried doing the Joseph method on it, and I'm just stuck. So I'm just going to throw it out there and see what you think.
Okay.
I dreamed that I was going into a big box home improvement store, and when I walked in the front door, the sliding doors opened, and I saw boxes, big boxes, from the floor level all the way to the top shelves, and they were wrapped in like cellophane wrap. And I asked one of the guys that was working what was going on, and he said, "We've taken over this this location." And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, is there anything left from the previous retailer?" And he said, "Yeah, it's in the home and garden area." I said, "Okay." So I walked to the garden area, and there was this little metal shelf that had a few items on it. And I noticed these bookends, and I thought they were pretty cool looking. They were white, and they looked like skeleton keys. And so I thought, man, that's cool. I like the way those look. And then I noticed as I got to really inspecting them that the bookends, the key bookends, were holding up a gold number 39. And that's the end of the dream.
39, huh?
39.
39. Well, you're about 29, right? So that doesn't have anything
You're hilarious.
to do.
That's what I'm telling everyone.
So it doesn't represent your birthday.
No, not at all.
39. Well, that's interesting. Well, so the idea of a big box retailer to me represents either your head space or your heart space. It's a place that maybe you go to, but you haven't been inspected, taken inventory of in a while. And you get back there and there's all this new stuff, which can represent a new season, being unwrapped, unlocked, new surprises, new things awaiting you. But you're like, well, what happened to the old stuff? What happened to what I was used to? And it's in the garden area, which to me that represents the last season being a seed for your new season. And it's also interesting that, because I was feeling this thing about your seasons as you were talking and about a change in season and a unwrapping of a new season, but still wanting to get the gifts and the fruit from the old season. And then you said when you went out into the home and garden area, you were attracted to these bookends, which again represents the idea of the start, a clear start and a stop to something like a season. Mm-hmm. And especially when you think of in Psalms, the language that God uses, which is the scroll of your life or the book of your life. Bookends is very apropos to the idea of seasons or the idea of a start and stop and a change or a shift. So I like the idea of the skeleton keys, like basically what happened in previous seasons has been planted in a garden area or is in a garden area that even though the season is over, it provides you keys to what's coming next. And it's interesting. Somebody here said 3 + 9 = 12, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. Of course, 12 being the number of government and some of the things that you're moving into now in this season. But 39 is also 13 times 3. And of course, if you go into the whole adding the numbers thing, 1 + 3 = 4, and 4 times 3 is also 12. So that's interesting. But I believe that what it has to do is 3 represents a 3-strand cord is not easily broken, right? And 9 is 3 squared. It's literally 3 times 3. So there's 4 3s in here. There's 3, which is a 3-strand cord not easily broken. And then there's the exponential effect of 3 times 3, which is like 1 can put 1,000 to flight and 2 10,000, which that math is exponential math, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe that what God is saying is there's going to be a multiplication effect that you have the keys for, that have been planted in an old season that are going to be used in a new season in an area, and gifts that you have yet to unpack. And what started initially as a unity, which could be, just 3, could be you, a best friend, God. It could be husband, wife, God. It could be, a small family unit. But what started as a small group of 3 is going to have an exponential growth effect. And in this season, you're going to see the relationships that you've sown into at the very core level, just like Jesus had his 3. You're going to see that expand to an exponential growth, and it's going to take you into places of government and heads of state and standing before kings, and it's some of the work that we're doing now. So,
Wow. That's interesting because that's come up in several dreams that I've had that has to do with standing before heads of state. So that's very interesting. When I was trying to decode it, I kept coming up with 12, but I just wasn't sure if I was hearing correctly. And then, of course, the keys, I thought about the binding and loosing, the keys of the kingdom, that kind of stuff. So that's very exciting. Very exciting.
yeah, I would look at Isaiah 12:22,
Okay.
which is about the keys of David, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Open a door that no man can shut, shut a door that no man can open, it's a whole nother study. We've kind of talked about that a couple of times in live dreams. But yeah, I feel like the other thing too is be prepared for the more, have your headspace, especially in a place that you have an expanded view of what's going to happen. A lot of times we go in and we want to pull from the last season. Well, this little piece worked, and so I want that little piece. And it's like, no, there's going to be a whole bunch of favor and glory and resources and access, which are all the unopened gifts and, the unopened boxes and cellophane that you're going to have access to in a new season. So don't just go look for what worked in the last season. Know that it's a new season. A lot of people can get a prophetic word and hear stuff like you're in a season of breakthrough, you're entering a new season, and it just get, it's like a Muppet news flash, Muppet news flash. They're like, oh, okay. And they do nothing to position themselves to prepare for what that means. Like if you're in a season of breakthrough, or if you're in a season of expansion, particularly breakthrough, anything that hasn't worked in the last season, everything from relationships to real estate to finances to business ideas, you should go try again. You may put an offer on that house 4 times and it didn't work, but you felt like God had that house for you. If you're in a season of breakthrough, go do it again. Now, I'm not saying necessarily a season of breakthrough for you, but I'm saying a season of expansion. It's the season that the Bible talks about, that it says expand your tent pegs. You're now in this big box store with all new stuff. So you have all new things that you have access to. So don't limit your experience, and particularly your experience in God, to what you've known. But also know that you
I thought it was cool that the 39 was gold too. It was so weird that it was like it was almost like it was made out of wood, but it was painted a beautiful gold. And that's what the bookends were holding up. So I knew it had, something to do, obviously, with something the Lord is wanting to do. I felt like it had something to do with his glory or revealing his glory or something. I don't know. But anyway, it has really puzzled me. This is a cool dream, but gosh, 39, what in the world do you do with that?
Right.
You go to John. That's what you do.
Well, also, if you look at an alphanumeric code, and sometimes I just felt led to go there. You don't always go there. I only go there as the Holy Spirit leads. But A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, 9 is I. So CI. As in CIA, or which could mean Central Intelligence. But it can also mean the idea of, if you work in government or investigations or law enforcement, a CI is also a confidential informant. So basically, it's a code of you're going to have answers that you know not of, whether it's centralized intelligence or a confidential informant. I call dreamers CIs in the work that we do, because they're the ones that are receiving a dream from heaven. And a lot of times they don't know what it means, but they have this information. And when it gets in the hands of our team, we can decode it. And they have no clue how deep and profound and geopolitical effects that one dream can have on the work that we do. And sometimes, they just pass a dream forward. They're not even looking for an interpretation. So some of it's high level stuff that we don't necessarily go back and tell them what their dreams mean, which a lot of them don't care. They just want to know that somebody's taking them seriously, especially if they feel the weight, a governmental weight on a dream. They just want to know that they get it in the hands of somebody that can pass it on to somebody that can use the actionable intelligence. So, so I would also look for dreams to explode in this next season for you.
Yay. Cool.
Yay. That's
well, they're
word.
Starting to happen. I had a weird one the other night, and I'm not going to go in the details of it, but kind of passed it off to some folks that have medical knowledge, and it just really turned into this really awesome thing. So I can bear witness with that. That's already starting to happen. It's pretty cool.
Wow. That's awesome.
All right.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You take care, Shalana.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.